What's up, man? It's MicCheckM.I.A, man, checking in, let y'all know to check out the MIA podcast, man. Voice of the city, man. If you're from Hinesville and they get you home, man, you somebody. MicCheckM.I.A, I'm out.
Okay, and we back in it, man. MicCheckM.I.A. This is your host, Karl Riles, LondonBiz.in today, but I got my boy Tone always lurking in the back.
Yes, sir.
Yep, and that's how we do. Hey, man, we got a special guest today. We have Karl Riles, a newly elected mayor of Hinesville, Georgia.
Yep.
Man, Karl, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on,
How
man?
You doing, man?
Hey, man, good to be here, man. It's been a good day.
Yeah, man.
I can't complain. I can't complain one bit.
So, I mean, now let's just, talk about humble beginnings. Because we are, as we know, you're newly elected mayor here in Hinesville. I'm proud of that, man. You the second black mayor.
Second black mayor.
And are you the youngest ever?
No. Man, Hinesville is 1837. So I imagine there's been a bunch that are younger. But I know that when Allen Brown was mayor the first time, back when I was in high school, I think he was maybe 43, 44, something like that. So he's got me by a few years. I'm 49 actually. I'll be 50 in May. So there's probably been a few that are actually younger. I'm the youngest in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we like the country. We've been electing a lot of 70-year-olds around here lately too. So excuse me, but I think it's good to have someone a little younger. But the world's just so different now.
Yeah.
Like one thing I tell people, I'm the first mayor of Hinesville that ever attended an integrated school.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and to put that in perspective, Liberty County had full integration in 1972, 73. So we've had 50 years of full integration. But every mayor that we had was out of school before full integration.
Oh, wow.
It's not. It sounds funny. It's just one of those weird coincidences. I went. I went to school fully integrated before, but you talk about what your experiences are in a town as diverse as Hinesville. When did the diversity of your experiences begin? I mean, I was born into diversity of experiences versus people who had formed. Think about everything you formed by the time you're 18. Your opinions, your habits, your preferences.
Right.
Well, I mean, imagine forming those without
integration.
Yeah, integration.
I mean, every mayor that we've had before me has drank from a white or a colored water fountain at some point in their life.
Never lived a full life.
Right.
As we do now.
Right. Now, and I think there's when you integrate and you govern, I don't think it's a detriment. I think it's just different experiences because someone who had that experience of segregation can definitely understand where we've come from, probably a little bit better than say me.
Yeah.
But the application of it, it's a matter of, it's just one more thing you don't have to think about.
Yeah, one more thing you don't have, Because you're right. Because, I mean, that will draw lines in the sand.
Yeah, it can.
It will draw lines in the sand. So, I mean, just knowing that history right there, man, that it's been, it's pretty much been that type of lineage in the area.
Yeah.
You feel like, you know what I'm saying, you're breaking ground. Are you going to bring a more groundbreaking experience? Hopefully.
I, I don't know about groundbreaking, but one thing I said during the campaign, I always say this: you will give attention to the things that affect you personally. If you can go home and you can turn off the issues, if you can insulate yourself in your home from the issues, for instance, I talk a lot about. I'm sorry. I talk a lot about, you know, we hear about the youth. What can we do for our youth? What do we have for our youth to do? Well, I have an 8-year-old granddaughter that is in my home at least 6 days a week. You know, when she's not with her mom. She wants to know what is there for her to do. When I go home, she's there.
Yeah.
It's personal to me. You know, I talk a lot about how we can educate our children, and we send them off to college or to the military or wherever, and then they graduate or they get out of the military and they don't come home for whatever reason. Well, I have a son, he's 20, he just turned 28 years old. He's in Atlanta. I'd like for this to be an option for him to come back. I have a 29-year-old daughter who happens to work with me. So I do have that. But, you know, she would like for there to be more things for her to do without leaving Hinesville. So that's personal to me. That's important to me. So I'm going to focus on that. I have a couple partners. I have some real estate interests, commercial downtown. You know, our downtown, we don't have a downtown, not a thriving downtown. You know, we have 11 empty buildings in a 200 block radius. Either, you know, just, it's personal to me. You know, I mean, this is my home, you know, so these things, it doesn't matter. I can't just go home and shield myself from the problems of the city because they really matter to me. Hold on, this might be the president. It's not. It's not. It's not.
Yeah,
I got the day off.
A family member of yours owned a business downtown Hinesville years ago, didn't they? Somebody owned a bar or something like that. I'm not sure.
No. Well, I mean, many years ago, my dad would have. That'd been the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, okay.
That'd been a long time ago. Yeah.
Why do you think those buildings are vacant downtown right now?
Well, that's kind of what we're trying to get to the heart of that matter. Whether it's regulations that whether we've overregulated our downtown, and we need to figure out what ordinances we need to change, we need to review, because we had some antiquated stuff in our ordinance book. You know, we had I was on the council for 5 years before I became mayor. You know, when I got on the council, you know, it was written such that you couldn't, if you were in the downtown overlay district, and it's kind of a little triangle. If you start at the main gate and you go down General Scriven to 84, and you take General Stewart around to 84 past Button Gwinnett, and then you draw a line there, all of that was in their downtown overlay district. So you couldn't have a tattoo shop in the downtown overlay district. You know, I mean, when that was written, when there was a serious stigma against tattoo shops. Right. But I mean, we're in 2023. I mean, gosh, we're so far past that.
2024.
Yeah, 2024. So that's something that we changed, I think, around 2020 maybe.
Oh, so now someone can have a tattoo shop in town.
Yes.
The overlay section. In
the overlay, yes. Our ordinance on massage therapy, it still said massage parlor in the ordinance. You know, we're talking old taboo massage parlors. Right. Like our ordinances, our city ordinances in the 21st century still said parlor. Right. And the state had passed that forever ago. We changed that. Okay. You know, our alcohol requirements, how far you have to be from certain institutions, churches, schools, rehab centers, libraries. Our distances were double, and in some cases 4 times what the state recommends. So, you know, it's a question, have we killed the spirit of the rule by over policing it. You know, are we over ordinance? Do we over inspect? You know, what how come we don't have the same thing someone else has? And some of that's interpretation. So we really have to work on getting to the heart of that, because every time that a prospective business owner has to get plans redrawn, well, the architect's going to charge for that. If something else happens, they have to go back to an engineer. Well, the engineer is going to charge for that. So by the time you do get open, it's cost you so much money that, you know, I mean, you're not gonna open your brand new business and it's going to be packed every single day. It's going to take you a while to build the clientele up, but you're going to be short cash during that problem because it's cost you so much money to get open. And then, you know, you end up with the business that doesn't make it. But, you know, where did that business really start? Were we fair in allowing them to get open? And, you know, it's a comprehensive approach of you know, how do we make it so everyone knows how to get open? Not a case where you have to navigate the system and you can talk to this person, they send you to this person, and you get it worked out, where it's just the way it works. And I think in small towns, and Hinesville isn't per se a small town anymore when you look at the totality of cities in Georgia. Outside of Metro Atlanta, we are one of the 16 largest cities outside of Metro Atlanta. Quick question. What city has more people, Decatur or Hinesville?
I would say Decatur.
I would say, but Hinesville has grown.
16. We have almost 16,000 more people than Decatur. Decatur just happens to be in Metro Atlanta, but in the Decatur city limits,
Okay.
we have about 16,000 more people than Decatur, Georgia. But on the outside of Decatur, they have 16,000 people. You know, they have their version of Allenhurst also has 25,000 people, and their Flemington has 25,000 people, and then their Gum Branch has, you know, 400,000 people. You know, so it's just, when you think about what your actual city and what we spend, what your tax dollars actually go to on the city side, you know, we are supporting, you know, a lot more people than it seems we're supporting. You know, we don't have as far as your tax dollars go. Now, of course, Decatur's bigger than Hinesville because it's stuck to Atlanta. You know, it's all concrete. But you know, as far as cities go, we are one of the 16 largest cities outside of Metro Atlanta, hub cities, and the state of Georgia is making a big push for the hub cities to be regional networks. You know, where we will be the hub city for, you know, Jessup, Glenville, you know, and that's kind of how it used to work anyway. It's just the state is just really interested in kind of not putting that into law, but into to forcing that issue. But back to getting open, I think it's just I think once that starts, you'll see growth downtown. You know, if you look right now, we're putting some money into downtown, rebuilding some things. We had, you know, the downtown of any city is the oldest part of the city. So it's going to have the oldest infrastructure. It's going to have the oldest pipes. It's going to have some asbestos pipes. It's going to have some lead pipes. You know, maybe they've already been changed, but you're going to find, because they build the city here and they build it out. So as you replace that failing infrastructure, well, then you end up with a nicer, newer downtown. Then you go back. Like we have that big dip on Main Street right now. Well, we had to fix a failing pipe.
Okay.
Well, so you have the dip, and you know, it's like, well, how come you haven't fixed the dip? Because we're already paving that. So we have the medians that are in there now. Well, you don't pave it and then come back and dig the paving up and put the medians in. So we kind of do it in reverse. We put the medians in. We'll get the medians in, then we'll come back and then we'll pave. We'll flatten out the dip as it goes, and then you're gonna have a couple traffic circles. But yeah, so I think you're gonna see the city. I don't think you're gonna see. You should see the city make a lot of efforts to kind of encourage businesses to come spend their money downtown. to give us a chance in spending that money. So, I mean, that's a long answer to your question, but it's in there somewhere. If you might need to rewind that back a little bit when you watch that one, but it's in there, I promise.
But it is some old buildings because I know like the old. I guess it was a movie theater one time, but I remember it as the office, unemployment office.
That was actually the movie theater is actually next door.
Oh, okay.
It's where the Gap is now. It burned down.
Okay, that was a movie theater.
The building you're talking about, the unemployment office, and it was also the 4-H building upstairs. Miss Alfreda Adams used to be upstairs. That was actually the Heritage Bank. No, sorry, well, the Hinesville Bank back then.
Oh, okay.
It was originally the bank before they moved across the street, before they went to Heritage, because that was a way back.
That building was a lot.
Yeah, right. That building was a lot, and in 2 stories. But yeah, that's what that building was originally, and the theater was next to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the historic part of Hinesville. So some of those buildings probably won't ever be torn down, or.
Well, I mean, they're expensive.
Yeah.
For starters, there's some questions of. I mean, of course, some. I think one thing people forget. I think somebody owns everything. Mm-hmm. As weird as it sounds, somebody owns everything. Even if it's government, somebody owns everything. So, you come and you get into the property owner, and then you get the decision. Hey, look. What do I do with this? Is it more cost effective for me to tear this down or start over, or to work inside the parameters of this building? And I think that's kind of where we are. Do I buy this building as is and put $120,000 in it to make it right, or do I buy it a little cheaper, knock it down, and then try to build something back up? Now, the only problem with your building is downtown is they're all connected, and they're 100 years old. We just have this past week the historic Liberty Historic Society. They went around to some of these buildings downtown, and they put the 100-year flyers on them, saying this building here is 100 years old. This is 100 years old. This is 100 years old. But there's a fine line between old and historic. Just right. You can label anything historic, but what's the history? History says that there's an importance to what's old.
Yeah.
If there's no importance to what's old, then it's just old. It's just like
the jailhouse.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
City Hall.
Right. It's just like buying a jersey. You see people walk around all day with Michael Vick jerseys. Them things are just old.
Right.
They're not throwbacks. They just had them for 20 years.
Exactly.
Right. That's the difference. And I'm not talking about like a Mitchell and Ness or anything. I'm talking about just the jersey.
Yeah.
Right. There's a fine line between a throwback and an old ass jersey. Right. You know what I mean? There's got to be some history to it to make it to make it that. And that's kind of where we are with our downtown. What are we trying to capture? What are we trying to do? What is our purpose to draw people downtown, to keep them downtown?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What you saying that? How do you actually? Because I think Memorial Street is probably part of that downtown plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, I see how that has a lot of space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that really like the aim, to kind of build that up and build your downtown back towards the downtown?
Well, I think you the farther away you get from the core, I think you get more into residential and service related. What we've got to have is retail. We got to have retail businesses downtown. Look, if we wanted to downtown, we could fill every single one of those buildings with lawyers' offices and real estate agents and whatever. But
it's not bringing any money.
Right. It's not bringing any money, and they're all closed at 5:00 every day and on the weekends.
Not creating an atmosphere.
Not creating an atmosphere. When I got on the council, we would talk about what they did in different places, and someone would say, hey, Savannah has this and Savannah has that. And then someone would always say, well, we're not Savannah. When I'd say, look, good. We don't have to be Savannah. I said, but we can be Jessup.
Yeah.
We can be Brunswick.
You could be Hinesville.
Well, you know what I'm saying? But you could have what they have. Listen,
Yeah.
it's Monday, but take 20 minutes. Well, this is a podcast, so hey, don't really do this. Just take my word for it. But take 20 minutes on Thursday, Friday, and drive down the road. Drive down to Brunswick, take a left on Cherry Street. I mean, Jessup, take a left on Cherry Street. Drive slowly past the theater, the two restaurants. You'll be in traffic. They've opened a brewery down there.
You wouldn't expect it. Think when you say I'm going to Jessup to go down a downtown and like, oh, it's live down here.
Right. I talk to the mayor all the time, the mayor of Jessup, and like he says, I have a problem not having parking. He's come down here and visited with me here, and we've walked around our downtown, looked at everything, and he's like, man, you guys have this park, you got this stage, you should have a band. He said, I need this. He said, I got the restaurants. He said, I don't have this. I don't have the space for this. He said, you guys get these things going, and the thoughts there, and our we have a Hinesville Downtown Development Association, which full disclosure, I am on now by virtue of being the mayor. And, we're shifting the focus on that for more of the development side, less the entertainment side, more the development side, more attracting and recruiting new businesses, finding out what the owners of these businesses want. We have a building that caught fire, the game shop.
Yeah, the game shop.
They just boarded up the windows and let it ride. So it's a matter of going to that property owner and saying, hey, what you doing with this? What do you want? Do you want to sell it? Do you want to rent it? Do you need some help getting a tenant? What would you like with your property? How can we as a city help you with this property? We have things like if your building needs some upgrades on the side, we have grants for that. We have facade grants for that. We're a little bit out of the footprint of that, but it would pay for something like if I decided to get the awning redone, the city would come back and kick you some money to get the awning redone. Paint, whatever to make it look better. So there are things that the Downtown Development Authority can do to help, but I think we really have to shift focus on finding out what the people downtown need, so that they can meet our idea of what we would like in our downtown. If you were to ask me what I think we need downtown, I think we need 3 restaurants. I think you take the German restaurant, we need 2 more restaurants. For sure, 2 more restaurants. We have 1 bar downtown that doesn't serve food. We need another one to balance that out. We have a food truck park opening on the other side of the traffic circle. Yeah. I am part of that food truck park personally, not as mayor, but personally, I think we need that. And then I think we could use if we could do that, I think we could do another couple more retail shops. I think that there's a couple of boutiques down there. I think that we could do well. I think that in the spot where the building's boarded up, because that used to be Roger's Dress Store when I was a kid. Man, I used to spend so much time in there with my mom, thumbing through looking for pantyhose. God, pantyhose. Yeah, I remember Barely There was a color, and Nearly Nude was a color. And then I'd be looking for, and they're the size of A, a B, and C. I'd be like, I got a B and Nearly Nude. Mom would be like, no, I need a Barely There. So I think in that spot right there, I would like to see. I'd like to see a boutique that. I mean, quite frankly, I'd like to see a boutique that catered to black women. Say what you want to say. Our bodies are different.
Yeah.
And what we spend, but I think downtown would be a nice place for a boutique.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it would.
you know, and the styles are different. Like I think the ones that are downtown right now, I'm really familiar with Molly Maxine, and I think they do a great job. You know, my mom buys stuff from there, my wife buys stuff from there, my daughter. So I think they do a really good job. But I think another spot, you know, a men's clothing store, and when I say men's clothing, not suits, you know, like if say you had something you need to get some khakis or something, a tie, maybe some dress shoes or something.
Somewhere like how David's.
Like Dave, right? Remember, you've been here long enough. We haven't had Leroy's downtown, but something like David's.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You know, but you have to create the atmosphere for those places to want to come.
True.
You know,
how are the businesses downtown doing right now?
No one's leaving.
Okay.
So, you know, no one's really leaving, but we have some fantastic entrepreneurs downtown. We have Kathy Villafane and her real estate group. They own the building where the little jewelry store is across from there. And then there's the selfie studio is right there.
Yeah, in the same building.
The same building, and then upstairs they have the boutiques. I think there's an esthetician there. There's some hairdressers.
Wow.
They're executive suites upstairs. You know, on the small row next to Bob Perkle, the Brienne Felton's real estate group is doing well. But of course, that's not retail. But the little bar, Parrot and Frog, they're doing well. Cacamille next door, they're doing pretty well. The Brow Bar, I think they do eyebrows, and they might do what else? What else are people doing besides eyelashes and stuff? I think they're doing that, but they're by appointment only. I think they're actually based out of Savannah, but they have an office there. And then the little boutique on the corner of that building, and upstairs they have the gaming, Phoenix Games and everything. And there's somebody there all the time. I don't really know what they do up there.
I mean, I've seen it,
but I know that I know their landlord, and every time someone has moved out of that space, they've acquired the space. So they're doing so the buildings, the businesses downtown seem to be doing pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, but we could. I just feel like the domino has to fall. I just feel like a domino has to fall. If we can get the one, just like Hinesville, you know, we were stagnant for a long time. You know, we got the Oglethorpe Square, you know, the Dick's and the Hobby Lobby and all that, and then everybody wanted to come.
Yeah, you can see that area starting to, you know, really grow right there.
Right, that became attractive, and everybody.
Is the administration engaging the public via social media to inform them of some of the things that are going on? Or
well, there are only so many things that you can do specifically as a city government, officially as a city government, and that's why you have authorities. They don't work for the city; they're independent of the city. So you have a Hinesville Development Authority. You know, focuses on your growth in the city of Hinesville. You have a Liberty County Industrial Authority, which focuses on manufacturing, warehouses, industry jobs. And then you have the Hinesville Downtown Development Authority, which focuses on recruiting business in your downtown area. So that's who would be responsible for that type of work. And those boards, they have citizen boards. Each council person appoints someone to serve on the board. One of the requirements is you have to have a business downtown, so that you're vested. And then they always have staff. They have a director whose job is to really do the day-to-day work and report to the board and carry out the wishes of the board. Or the director really runs it, and they bring things to the board because they're the professional in the game, you know. So that's who would do the majority of that, and you know, and we can't forget our real estate community. I mean, you know, everyone's a real estate agent in Hinesville, it seems. So your real estate agents are huge salespeople for you. So a lot of times, you know, your downtown development authority, in conjunction with real estate agents, someone sees something for sale, they get paid to sell it. they're going to be interested in that. So our real estate community is very helpful in a lot of this growth. You know, they're kind of unsung, but they're helpful with a lot of this growth for sure.
Well, it was I think it was a lady who was supposed to put a steakhouse downtown. Like, was that
In the Coca-Cola building?
in the Coca-Cola?
Yeah, that project. That project. I don't know if it's on pause, if she's changed her mind, but that's something that we've got to do. We've got to go back and we've got to engage her in, like I said before, like just like with the other building. What what do you need out of this building? What can we do to help you get started? I think a lot of times in government, you forget what you're trying to do. I mean, you forget the overall goal. You forget that. You have to ask yourself, well, what is our end game here? What do we want to do? And if your end game is, look, we want to get these places open, then we got to make sure we have the flexibility, or that we create the flexibility, or that we put the flexibility in our ordinances and our rules so that someone can take advantage of that flexibility. It's like, people have got to be able to see what you're doing from 30,000 feet. If someone takes a look as they fly by and they like what they see, then they'll give you another pass. But if you're doing something to turn them off at 30,000 feet, they're going to keep flying. So we've got to make sure that that when someone is on the internet doing their research, they see enough that they want to come see us. And then when they come see us, we got to make sure they do enough that they want to come, talk to somebody. We've got, next to the library, we opened a small business incubator.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get some success stories out of that. Anyone that that is starting a business, has dreams of starting a business, doesn't know where to start, we need to get them to the incubator. And it's run by Georgia Southern, but we got to get them there. I think about it like this, because, you have people now, we have tremendous cooks in Hinesville. Like, you can get a good plate of food every day,
everywhere.
3, 4, 5 people.
A corner store.
People cooking it in their house or whatever. But there's someone cooking in their house that really would like a restaurant. They might not know how to get to a restaurant. So you might want to take a cook to a caterer to a food truck to a restaurant. But that's what a small business incubator does. What is your plan, and how can we get you to that plan? It gives you those steps. And so it's just one of those things people have got to be open to say, hey, look, I need this help. These people can help me. And then to listen to the help, because it's what they do. It's how the incubator works. And, the Hinesville Development Authority and Georgia Southern, they put a lot of money into making sure this thing works. So, they're not going to let it fail.
Yeah. I was wondering what that was.
Yep.
That's cool.
The small business. A lady at Georgia Southern named Catherine Blake runs that. And, she's fantastic. And they're open for business. And it doesn't cost you anything. It's a resource.
Dang.
It's a resource.
That's a jewel to Hinesville right there.
It's huge.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah, that's a jewel.
It's huge, but we have to know. And I think so many of the things that people want you to do for them now, they want you to deliver everything to them. Like every now and then you'll hear somebody say, well, that wasn't on the news. Was it not on the news, or was it not on Facebook? Because Facebook ain't the news. Some things you got to go get. Not that it should be hard to get, but some things you got to go get. But things like that, that's something that we do have a pretty robust social media now, because we realize that things are different. Like I talked about earlier, if I'm also the first social media mayor. Yeah, I don't think anybody other mayors were using social media.
No,
you know what I mean? Like so I'm also the first social media. I'm the first person in that position to really understand, the importance and how important our social media is. Now, we have a great staff. We have a great city manager, CFOs, assistant city managers, and all PR department. All that. They're great. They're all professionals, and they're top notch. So they understand all that stuff. And I don't have to do anything like that. But we make sure that we're pumping out content, because you have to meet the people where they are. But at the same time, you can't do everything for them.
Now, do you guys host public forums or meetings that are accessible to the public that can come and sit in on meetings to find out what's going on with the city?
Almost every meeting that the city government has is public.
Okay. And they can see what the days and times on
Yep.
the website.
Yep. Almost every meeting, and even the authorities, planning commission, like, I mean, all of that stuff is public. Now it's just been a long time since anybody came. We had a workshop because we have to advertise any meeting we do. We had a workshop today. Well, today's Monday, so last Thursday we had a workshop, and we had a citizen come. I've been on the council for 5 years. The first citizen. we sat him right next to me.
Yeah.
You know, so glad to hear him. I said, "You want us to? Would you like for us to announce you?" He's like, "No, I'm just here to see." I said, "But no one ever comes." He goes, "That's why I'm here." I said, "Well, thank you."
Wow.
And he got to sit there in the. I mean, you know, parts of our meeting got a little contentious.
Right. Are we too busy, lazy, or just ignorant? Oh, yeah. Not as a bad way. Like,
No, I know. I just don't know. Yeah, yeah. In the true sense of the word, apathetic.
Okay.
People don't really care.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
what I was
really
gonna say.
affect
People-
them. And I think people have gotten to the
Until
point.
it's time to care.
Well, and people have gotten to the point where they believe that in government we're going to do whatever we want to do anyway. You know, like one of the main things people always say, waste of their time. But I mean, let's be honest. You ain't this PG-13. What is this podcast?
I mean, it's
You ain't,
honest.
yeah.
A wide range.
Yeah,
it's honest.
shit. You ain't doing shit anyway.
Yeah, nah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's like when people said they were going to boycott the NFL. And do what? You going to spend more time with your family? You going to cut grass? You going to finally fix that shed? You going on the roof? Man, you ain't finna do nothing but sit on the couch.
Yeah.
So, you know, we broadcast our regular meetings on Facebook. The Hinesville, the HDDA meetings, they're on Facebook. So we found a way to actually broadcast these meetings so people can watch if they want to sit on it, and you can go back and archive them. You can watch and you can watch them.
Are you watching them?
People do watch our council meetings.
Okay.
People do watch our council meetings. So you know, that was good. Like I talked about being social media, we had a citizen come by, and he said why don't y'all show your meetings live? It was my first day on council. We actually had an off-site workshop that day, and the next day we talked about it, and they were like, we looked into how we'd have to do it. It's going to cost this. It's going to cost this. Blah blah blah. And I was like, no. I said we don't have to do all that because we have a YouTube channel that we're trying to take us from Facebook back to YouTube, to our YouTube channel. But even on we'd still have the Facebook as well. But back then it was a matter of I said we could just Facebook Live these meetings. I said it would cost us an iPad and you know and some audio equipment.
Right.
And so we started doing that. We've been doing that for 4 years and some change now.
Okay.
You know, now we're trying to make improvements to that because you know you have one camera, you have one point perspective, so a lot of times you can't see what we're discussing because we have a screen up, so you can't see the screen even though the slides are available. You would just have to split screen the meeting and the slides, and you could go through them with us at the same time. So we're looking for ways to maybe that we can show both things at the same time, or even 3 views. You can see a view of the council, a view of the person speaking, and the slides, where you can see everything. So, you know, we're constantly making improvements that I don't necessarily know really have to be made.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we can, then we should. You know, it doesn't matter if anybody comes or not. You know, there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. Yeah.
And then you have no excuse also about being involved. Like there's a you know someone in the community, someone living in the community. You have access.
Yeah.
You know, y'all trying to make sure there's access there.
There's always this push for people. They're always like, if you had the meetings in the afternoon, we would come. Like, no one's ever come to any meeting we've ever had after 5 o'clock. It's not.
Well, I mean, they with their family, so
right,
you know.
right. It's not, but it's not any different.
Yeah.
Like our city council meeting started at 3 o'clock. We're there from probably 3 to 5. Anything that we've had after hours isn't any. It's less attended than anything we have before. You know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't matter if you're not having it in people's living room. Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, you know. But people, you know, if people have, you know, we have 5 districts, and each district has a representative, and that's the easiest way to get your questions answered, get your concerns addressed. That person is elected to be your representative. I mean, that's the easiest way to contact whatever district you live in, to contact that person. That's the easiest way. Email, in person, because they're going to run it up the flagpole. Well, actually, from the council, they're going to run it down.
Right.
You know, and it's the easiest way to get your concerns addressed. I
mean,
mean,
in the community you live in.
Right, right. You know, it's there are ways, and people just have to take advantage of those ways instead of just assuming that they know the way it really works.
Yeah. Now I seen that work though, because my wife was having a problem with a neighbor of mine, and she called. I forgot his name. Why can't I say his name? But he's out there in Midway. Because I stay in not Eagle Creek. I stay in Cross Creek.
Cross Creek. You told you heard it there, folks. You know where to go. You know what he drives. All right. It'd be like the Boosie song. Front your house.
Nah, he handled it pretty swift though. He
Right.
was, you know, he came out there and
Sure.
he handled it, and I guess people had been having a problem beforehand and didn't know who to talk to. And you know, my wife,
That's right.
she reached out like that. She was like, "Nah, that's
right.
who I'm reaching out to."
That's right.
And
And that's how it's supposed to work.
yeah, and it worked.
You know, that's just how the system's set up to work. And you know, we just had an election, and everybody that was elected at some point in time, they told the people in that area that they would be their voice for the city. Well, you know, you got to cash that's a check.
Right.
You know, you got to cash those checks. You know, I mean, some things you say. When I ran for council, I went on this one street, and it was the road was horrible, and I told everyone on that street when I was running, I said, "Oh yeah, we'll get this street paved. We're gonna get this street paved." Then I got into office, and they said, "Okay, give me the streets that need to be paved. We have a list, you know, that we do we have X amount of dollars to do repaving every year." I was like, "This street." He said, "Okay, cool." They put the list on there. The street wasn't on there. So wait, he said, "Well, look at the streets that are in your district that are on the list. Which one of those streets do you not want to do your street?" And I looked and I was like, "Yeah, all those are worse than this street." So next year came by. All right, same thing. It had some streets that were close, but this street was just one little loop that only the residents used, versus the other street was like a thoroughfare that everyone used. I was like, 4 years, never got that street repaved. And those people that lived there know that I told them I was going to get it repaved because I was sure that was something that had to be done and I could get it done. But then I got in there and I saw what the process was, and I realized that someone had thought about this process before. That it wasn't that the person before me was just like, I don't care nothing about the people that live there. It was just way down the list. Now, watch what will happen, you know. Now the street will get paved next year, and they'll say, "Hey, you got it done, and he couldn't get it done." But it's really, I've been inching this street up the list for 4 years. So it's you know, it's I think it's the nature of the game, the things I don't think the promises are actually lies. I think there's some ignorance. There's some things you don't really know how it works.
Yeah.
And then you get in there and you've told some people some stuff, but it's okay. You get new information. It's okay to go back and tell them, because I believe that when I ran for mayor, I know I had a lot of support on that same street. I had a lot of people that were like, okay, yeah, I get it. I understand what happened. You explain it to them, because people are reasonable. They just want to know.
Yeah, they want to know.
I mean, if you tell them no, they just want to know why. So that's talking to your council person, your representative, and building that relationship with them. It's the fastest way to increase the accessibility and the representation that you get in your city. It don't matter if you voted for them or not, had their sign in the yard or not. It don't matter. It don't matter. You're a citizen. You pay taxes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Where's the data that says we need so many car washes?
There is, to be frank and direct, the car washes have it.
Car washes, they're doing it.
The car washes have it. Here's the thing. What is the number one problem in Hinesville right now? What do you think? If someone says, that's South Georgia. But if someone's like, man, Hinesville's there's just too much traffic.
Traffic, yeah.
Right?
Right.
Well, what is traffic? Traffic is cars. What do cars need?
They get clean.
Oil changes,
Yes.
car washes, auto parts,
Gas.
gas. Right? So what do we have in Hinesville? Car washes, auto parts, oil changes, gas.
Yeah.
Like these places aren't spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to come somewhere where they're not going to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They can go anywhere, but they know that that's going to work, and they don't have to be great.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to be better than what's here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because like this new car wash, I think it's ugly too. No offense to them, but the pink and red, I think it's ugly. But they know they gonna take somebody's business. I remember when right across the street from us on a Saturday, the car wash at the corner of Pineland would be full.
Full.
When last time you seen a car over there?
Yeah, it's not packed like that anymore.
No, because these new places, they know. They don't have to be the best. They just gotta be better than what's out there. Right. It's like the old thing, if you and somebody else are running from a bear, you don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with the gas stations. They just built that new gas station on 84 on the on the far side, on the other side of on the west side of town.
BP?
The BP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you look at the BP, right down from the BP is that old Texaco across from the golf course. Then across the street, but from the cable place is the Chevron.
Mm-hmm.
And then the old Fuel South, or whatever, it was Circle K now, I think, but the old Fuel South. The person that put the BP there, they don't care if there's too many gas stations in Hinesville. They just have to be the best gas station in that little area.
Yeah.
And they are. And they know that if they are maybe not the best, but they know if they're the newest and the nicest, people are going to come there. They don't care what happens to the Chevron guy or the Circle K guy. They just want to get theirs.
Right.
So what's happening is we handle the zoning. People come in for zoning requests. We say, okay, look, 84 is going to be commercial. This area is zoned commercial. That's what's there. And once it's zoned commercial, whoever wants to come, comes. People get upset with fast food. Well, look, this is a whole nother conversation. I can do an hour on this by itself. But it's like this. If you want Olive Garden, you can't let Ruby Tuesday die.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we getting another burger place? Well, drive by the burger places. We don't need another burger place. We'll drive by. Drive by the burger place. Go to McDonald's right now.
Lining up right now.
Queued up around the building.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them. And so is the Wendy's.
And Wendy's.
And so is the Sonic.
Yeah.
And so is the Cookout.
Yeah.
Right.
So when Highway 55 looked at Hinesville, they said, man, these people buying burgers. Okay, where are you going to put it? Let's put it right across the street from Cookout. We don't need another chicken finger place. Huey Magoo's came to. I don't know how the process works. I have no idea. I'm not corporate America. I don't know. But here's what I think happened. I'm pretty smart. Here's what I think they did, or what I would have done. The Huey Magoo guy came into Hinesville, and he parked across. He sat in the Zaxby's parking lot at lunchtime, and he counted all the cars. And when he was done, he drove down the street, and he went to Chick-fil-A, and he counted all the cars. And then after that, it was about almost dinner time, so he drove back to Zaxby's, and he counted all the cars. And he drove back to Chick-fil-A, and he counted all the cars. He went back to corporate, he said, man, they are eating some chicken in Hinesville.
We're making some money.
And he said, well, we should put one there. And the guy said, well, where should we put it? He said, how about right in between them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Doing well,
and doing real well.
You got chicken places because you're showing you support chicken. You want another casual dining, another sit down?
Gotta go to Longhorn.
Right, Longhorns, maybe Applebee's, Chili's. Maybe they're enough without, because, Ruby Tuesday is suffering. It really is. It might be enough to pull that without that, but they're going to bring more of what you are supporting. Because they know, they're bottom line based. They're just profit based. They don't care. Now, I don't know this on any authority, but I am 100% sure that we'll have an Olive Garden in 18 to 24 months. It's the segment of the market that we do not have. And if we do get it, it's the only one for 50 miles in every direction. So this is a great location for that. Where they put it, yeah, who knows? But, I know. But who knows? Or where they're looking, or where they would like to be. There's different places in town. There's large spots of, where someone that could locate. But, we don't just, all that to say, we don't decide who comes. And we're not turning anybody away that wants to come. They just knocked down Mach 1.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Mavis is coming. I guess they do oil changes and stuff.
Mavis?
I'm not sure what Mavis is. But
Mavis ain't playing.
Right, but what we do get, let's say Mavis comes and they fail miserably. Well, we've gotten rid of a 30-year-old building on our main street. We replaced it with a brand new building on our main street. That's an improvement in the real estate base. The next person that wants to come here, that's a place that looks good, that looks inviting. So all these improvements and the way they improve your tax digest and work together to lower your taxes in the city anyway. People don't know this because all the tax bills went up, but in the city, we've lowered our tax rate 6 years in a row. Well, sorry. We haven't raised it. A couple years it stayed the same. We haven't raised it in 6 years. Our tax rate, our millage rate in the city is the same as it was in 1999. The county's going up, but the county's got stuff to pay for. Right. But we've seen enough of a growth in our tax digest from retail sales tax that we haven't had to really do a major millage increase while providing more services. We just we're building a fire department right now.
Yeah,
a brand new fire department. We've a lot of things that we've done to improvements that without having to go back to the citizens and ask for a bigger rate and ask for more money. So it all works together. But that's what we're getting. We get every time someone buys an auto part. People don't like auto parts or don't like oil change or whatever. Every time someone sells an oil change or buys an auto part, 1 penny out of that dollar goes to improving the roads. 1 penny out of that dollar goes to education. One part goes to the Board of Education. 1 penny out of that dollar goes to special purpose, which we're kind of paying off some stuff right now. But once that's done, we'll have some money free and clear for some other initiative, some special initiatives. One thing I'd like to see is use that penny for family entertainment. Once this next round of SPLOST comes, but every time someone buys something, we bring another retail place in here, and someone buys something in Liberty County and doesn't buy it in Chatham County or Bryan County or Effingham or Bullock, that's a penny that you don't have to spend per dollar. It's a penny you don't have to spend on the Board of Education or on the roads here, or to pay off your city hall, or to pay off your fire department, or to buy police cars. So we don't turn away businesses that want to come to Hinesville. We don't. It's not our design, because we need the pennies.
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean, like I know one time, I guess it was like a Walgreens was trying to come in. I think they was trying to move inside of a neighborhood, and that was like I think the neighborhood protested it.
They did.
And then, I mean, I know this is outside of Hinesville, but I know that one time they was talking about bringing a casino, and I've heard that got protested.
I just finished. You have a
No,
you finished
what I was saying was like with things trying to come in, you do have, saying that angle too, that people may protest.
Sure.
In the business.
Sure, depending on where it is, like where the Walgreens wanted to go. That area. I mean, it's at the corner of 84 and General Scriven. It's at the corner of two main intersections. It's a perfect place for commercial development. There just happens to be a neighborhood right behind it. So over the years, I mean, the Walgreens probably got the farthest, but someone is asking about that property once a month. What's for sale? So someone's asked about that property, I mean, all the time.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get as far as that, because people know that they're going to have to get the support of the residents, and the residents are never going to give that support. So the council is never going to, I'm not going to say never, I can't speak for the council, I'm not even on it anymore, I'm the mayor now. But the odds of them allowing the zoning of that space to go from residential to commercial, not good.
Not good.
Not good. You would really need someone would have, it'd be a heck of a thing to stick a commercial business in the backyards of these people that have lived there for 40 and 50 years. I mean, if something like that, they would almost have to buy those people out and buy like the whole block to that point. I mean, very, very difficult to do that there. And I think that's what people find, and that's why you haven't seen anything go there. You touched on the casino. The casino was, the talking about the casino was way out in front of anything that could have possibly happened with the casino. It's just in a situation where, I mean, there are going to be so many licenses that go out. So you just kind of have to show that you are a place that might possibly, be fit for that.
Handle that.
So I think someone wrote an article about Liberty County being a potential spot, and people thought we were way farther along. But I mean, sports gambling is not even legal in the state of Georgia.
Nah.
So you've got the House isn't, the state legislature is not going to pass it like that. It's going to be a referendum. So you got to get that to the ballot. It's got to be statewide. It's got to be approved. Even after it's approved, the gaming, you have to set up a gaming commission. I mean, you have the lottery now, so it'd probably be some offshoot of that. A gaming commission that issues the licenses. You're probably looking at 5-6 licenses. There's gonna be some parameters about where the casino can go.
Calm
license. I mean, you're not gonna. I mean, you're not gonna put a casino in Albany. You know what I mean? Like, there's not gonna be a casino in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So you have to show that you have an appetite and that you can support the casino. They're gonna give a limited number of licenses, and who's gonna own the licenses? Barstool, MGM. It's not Bovada. I mean, places that already run these things are going to have these things. You're not going to get a situation where we get together and we're like, man, we should do one of these casinos. And the state's like, Yeah, you too.
Yeah, y'all
You
go
know?
ahead and do that.
Yeah, it's dog. I got to run.
Yeah, I was just about
That
to.
happened fast.
Yeah, it did. I was just about to.
We're about an hour in already.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry I'm talking so
Oh
much.
no, you good,
This is a
man.
great interview.
Yeah, it's great, man. I definitely was just about to cut it. Yeah, we.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah. I love the story about Lionel Richie. We're gonna have to get that.
Yeah. We can do it. Maybe when my dad's here one week, we get together. We can tell. He can let him tell that story. My dad's probably a fantastic interview if you have any questions. He's done a lot of stuff.
Okay.
He's done a lot of stuff. My dad's a concert promoter. He's a club owner. He owned before Gillies was there. He owned Gillies actually.
Okay, no, that's what I heard.
KC Skippers.
There you go, KC Skippers.
KC Skippers. But he used to have a place called the Pressure Cooker before that in the late '70s. Out, it's where the junkyard is, Coastal and all back there. But concert promoter. My dad's he's done some stuff. He done some stuff. So he's probably a pretty decent interview.
It's pretty decent.
Probably pretty decent interview.
Oh man, well hey man, I'll thank you. For
Yeah,
coming
thanks.
on,
I appreciate it,
man.
man. Anytime. You can tell that I'm not short words.
Oh,
So
it's all good.
anytime.
Yeah, it's
Glad
all
we
good.
finally got over here. Really.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Appreciate
man. Hey man, we appreciate you, man. This is MicCheckM.I.A. This is Karl Riles, the newly elected mayor of Hinesville, Georgia, man. Hey man, y'all ask any questions that y'all want to.
Yep. Send them in.
Send them in for the next time that we on, and we'll see y'all then, man. Tone, you got anything?
Nope, we out of here.
We
That's
out
what's
of
up.
here. All right, brother.